Slash and Cast.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
Slash and Cast podcast, where we talk horror, nothing but horror, brought to you by the Slash and Cast podcast network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. I am one of your hosts, Mori, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Slasher.
Everybody.
And today we'll be actually discussing Evil Dead 2 in a follow-up of our series review where we did Evil Dead last week. And then we'll start off with our guest or character.
What do you want to go first?
Am I guessing first, or are you guessing my character first?
You can guess first if you want.
All right, I guess.
I've got my first.
Honestly, I need a draft like a scientific theory method of figuring out these characters. You know, I need an algorithm. Is this a antagonistic character? As in, like, the killer.
In what way?
As in, are they the primary antagonist of the movie?
No.
No? Okay. Are they the primary protagonist?
So that then?
Are they the primary protagonist? Or they they the mains? They are? Okay. Is this horror movie, is it considered typical horror, like you're like an actual like full-on vein of horror, or is it an offshoot?
What do you mean?
Like, is this actual horror, or is this more the lines of like sci-fi with some horror elements?
No, this is straight horror.
Straight horror, okay. Is this a well-known film?
Very well known.
Very well known, okay. Is this part of the slasher, like the slasher movies, or is this more like psychological, supernatural?
Slasher, yes.
So slasher, yes. Okay. Does the killer wear a mask?
No.
No mask. Okay. It's a slasher. Killer does not wear a mask, which gets rid of Halloween, gets rid of Friday the 13th, gets rid of. Does the killer use depending on pronunciation, hoodoo? So there's multiple ways to pronounce a voodoo. There's voodoo, there's hoodoo, there's so on and so
voodoo.
forth.
No.
So it's not Chucky. Okay.
No.
Well, Child's Play. Let's see. Other well-known slashers. Is this a horror movie regarding? No, that's not popular enough to say like the Valentine's Day one that I always forget the name of. My Bloody Valentine.
I would say that film was popular. I like that film.
You'd say it's popular? Okay. It wasn't bad.
I watched Hot Eyes the other day.
You did? Okay.
It came out on VOD. That was good.
Nice. Okay.
That was really good.
Perfect. Is this part of the Scream franchise?
No.
No.
You said mask. Mask technically. Mask. You said if killer wears the mask, that's a mask. So no.
Maybe it's actually part of their identity. Okay. Brian.
Yeah, come on, use that brain.
Yeah, if it actually listens to me
for the first time in your life, use it.
For the first time of the day, at least. Absolutely. Slasher movie, popular, no mask. Slasher movie, popular, no mask. Protagonist of that movie. Leatherface wears a mask, thus not Texas Chainsaw.
Well, he wears faces of other people as a mask, but yeah.
Yeah, Why is my brain having a hard time thinking of slasher movies at the moment? Is the main character are they femme presenting or mask presenting? Them. Okay. Would you consider them one of the final girls of this movie?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'll tell you now. This film, I think, started the career of a very well-known actor.
Is the actor's name Samara Weaving?
No.
She's like one of the ones that I
I actually
name
need
of,
to
like,
see if this was.
So it jump started the. Oh,
What?
I'm just trying to determine if this is the
What?
character that you asked for. Just putting it together real quick in my brain. I literally see the movie in my head.
Go on, say it.
X.
No.
Damn. You see why I was thinking of that, right? Because that actress's name is what I was working on in my
No.
head.
This is an old
Mia
movie,
Goth.
by the way. This is not like
Oh, it's older.
2000s.
Okay, so it's not Mia Goth. Okay. Let's see. So it's an older movie, a slasher that kickstarted this actress's film career. Actually, you're wearing a Chucky shirt.
Yeah. Go on. What you got?
So far, I'm running up with nothing, which is
Dude, there's
embarrassing.
a franchise that you have not mentioned.
Yeah, and that's my brain is a brain diff at this moment. Also, I need to turn up my light. I feel
Think about like the top dogs.
Top dogs. I already said Friday the 13th. I already said Halloween. I already mentioned Scream. I already mentioned Texas Chainsaw.
There's one you haven't mentioned.
God, wow. See, this is how you can tell my brain's not working because it's probably right there. It's probably extremely obvious. The moment you tell me, it's gonna be like,
obvious.
wow.
It is very
Yeah.
obvious.
I see. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
Aha! Is this a bad time to tell you? You might disown me. I have only ever watched the remake.
Oh, I had a bit of throw up.
Oh no, you're fine. I've been meaning to get around to watch them. I just keep
Right,
forgetting.
I'll give you it because technically this character is in the remake, just a different complete actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Nancy.
Yeah, so you win this round. Okay, Nancy. Yeah, so you win this round. Does that make you feel happy?
Can't believe you only watched the remake.
Clearly, you just have to watch them with me.
I've watched the remake. It's terrible.
No, the old ones with me.
Could do a movie commentary at some point.
That would be fun. I'd enjoy that.
I want to do more movie commentaries. Right, next one.
Next one.
Well, a movie commentary would take like, depending on how long the film is.
It just gives me more time with you. Antagonistic or protagonistic?
I like how you moved on. What? Say that again.
Antagonistic or protagonistic?
I want to say a bit of both.
A bit of both?
Because, like, what happens to the character is what makes him the antagonist, but at first he's more of a protagonist. So it's like a bit of both.
Bit of both. So he starts off good and ends up bad.
Essentially,
Is what
yes. Essentially, yes.
So they're someone who are wronged throughout the course of the movie and
No,
kind of
they're not wronged. It's just that he does something that changes the course of his life.
Did he predict that a plane was going to crash?
No, it's not the knowing. I'm actually surprised you know that film.
I was actually aiming for Final Destination.
Oh. Both of those have got kind of like the same
like
thing.
premise idea.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
The knowing.
Okay,
I used to actually think the knowing was. I used to think the knowing was the 2012 movie when I were
okay.
little because they both got the same type of premise. But then at the very then I remember at the very end of the knowing there's aliens, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's fair. So things that he does throughout the film, like sets him on a path of
I believe there is a sequel to this.
villainy, and there's a sequel to this.
I
So
believe.
it's a 1 to 2 movie thing where they make bad decisions.
I
Yes,
think
Lucas.
how many?
We might be treated to a Lucas climbing up my chair here in a minute because I can hear him wandering about.
According
He,
to
however,
this, there is 5 movies.
5, okay. Yeah, but Lucas does not get a physical affection
Oh
right now.
wait,
The first thing he did to me is he bit me this morning.
I think right. So I think the one I'm talking about is technically a remake.
Look
So
real quick.
like there are 5, but there's the one I'm talking about. But then I think the one I'm talking about has a sequel. But there are a lot older films as well.
Okay, so this is an older film.
Yeah. As far as I can
80s?
tell. This is from this one particularly, this film movie I'm on about, is from yeah, 80s. Late 80s as well.
Late 80s, okay. And it's not one of the more popular franchises.
The franchise isn't popular, but I know that this film is.
Yeah. Give me one moment. My cat is trying to commit violence in whatever, evil creature's name that he serves. So I'm gonna kick him out. Sometimes my cat makes me feel like that little short horror film I saw where it was like the evil ventriloquist dummy who's trying to kill his family. And like it fails really bad every time.
And go on.
Okay, let me get my brain straight again. Can you repeat what you about it being one of the popular franchises?
So this movie is popular. It's a known one, but just for this film alone, I think this film's more widely known than the others are.
Gotcha, and there's at least 5, or at most 5. Well, this one's the most known. It was late 80s. Character, good intentions, ends up.
So yeah, this one does have a sequel. This one, but there are films before it. But I think these were like remakes.
Once before, these are like remakes.
But this one does have a sequel.
I don't know. My brain keeps thinking of The Fly, and I know there's no.
It is The Fly.
Shit! There were actually other movies to The Fly.
Yeah, the original, the one with the Fly, the one we're talking about, is technically a remake of a black and white movie.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
actually need to
And
make sure. Is The Fly 1986 a remake?
main
Back
character
in
played by
1986, David Cronenberg directed a remake of Kurt Newman's. Yeah, there was a one that came out in 1958.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna say this much: Jeff Goldblum is one of my celebrity crushes. I love that man. He has like the perfect amount of
What's his
eccentricity.
character's name?
Starts with an S. Last
That
name I
because
know is like Brindle or Bundle or
it's
something.
Brundle.
It's Brundle. Simon.
No,
No.
it's shorter. It's like 4 letters.
4 letters. I can only think of Seth.
Yes, it's Seth Rooney. Right.
I'm gonna say this much though. I did not realize there were any other movies associated with The Fly,
Yeah,
and frankly,
there's the one with Seth Goldblum is a remake of one from like 1950 something.
I love Jeff
I love
Goldblum.
The Fly.
I
And
love
then
him.
it got a sequel where it's his son.
Interesting. But yeah, just like copying an image. Look at this man. Just look at him. The only movie I wasn't physically attracted to him in was literally Jurassic Park.
Why?
It was like too like emphasized. And it wasn't really like I don't think his like eccentric nature really came out in a sense. He even did some a grocery store I used to work for back in the day. Kroger. He even did some Kroger commercials at one point in time, and I was just like, these were nice. I liked them. They were good. And I was like, that's how you make a commercial.
My last one.
Yeah, last character, antagonistic or protagonistic?
Protagonist.
Is this a popular horror franchise?
This movie is another remake of. This is technically a remake of a really old is of an older movie that I think it goes by a different name.
So this is a remake, you said?
1 second.
I like to make a little document and stuff in terms of
Yeah.
the characters.
So this is a remake of another film. But it's a complete. The remake has a shorter name than the original does.
A shorter name. Okay.
And it did have recently, probably like 20 something, 2000 and something, it had a prequel made.
Prequel within the latter 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay. Protagonistic. Still a well-known franchise.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this character trans or like sorry, not trans? Femme presenting or mask presenting?
Masculine.
Masculine. Okay. It's a masculine character, or had a sequel kind of thing, like
It had a prequel in the 2000s.
in the 2000s. Okay.
Well, like 20. Oh, I'd say 2010 onward. It came out around that time period.
Same character and same actor within this prequel?
No,
No. Okay.
the prequel takes place before the events of this film.
Is the prequel a Texas Chainsaw?
No.
Okay. I don't know why. I always one of my favorite kind of prequel kind of things of all time are like really cool weird stuff is definitely his chainsaw with the guy who played Gunny and Full Metal Jacket. I loved his character. He played the sheriff while pretending to be the sheriff that whole piece. Loved him.
Go on, keep going.
All right. Was it prequel? Early 2000. Older film. Ultimately, was this film in the 90s or 80s when it came out?
80s. This was like early 80s.
Okay. Is this a slasher film?
No.
Is this a psychological horror?
No, this is a sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi horror. Okay. Is the main guy behind the movie Jackson Carpenter?
So that again.
Is this the Thing?
Yes.
Nice. Ooh, now I remember their names. Is this character one of the two in the final scene that is
Yes.
constantly up for debate? Okay, shit. I literally the other day I even watched somebody's film breakdown where they were discussing their ideas on who it could be. Their names are said so much. Does the name start with a D?
No.
No. Do you know what's really funny is remember when I was having a hard time thinking of Dutch from
I could
Predator
just give
the
it
other day?
you.
If you want to, yeah, because I'm right there. It's the one with the bushy beard, right?
It's Kurt
That's the
Russell.
character. That is a young Kurt Russell. Yeah.
His character's name is RJ McReady, but he goes by Mac.
Right, Mac. Yeah. I'm bad with names. I honestly am actually terrible at it.
I think the Thing does have a cut scene
Where it like reveals who it was. Because I don't think so, if that's what you're leaning down towards. That being said, who do you think was the
No, because I believe there was. I don't know if there was, but apparently, last time I checked, there was a cut scene where Kurt Russell's character tests his blood if he's the creature before the end, and comes out that he's not. But it got deleted because they wanted the ending to be open ended.
Where he tested his own blood to prove that he wasn't it. And ultimately, if anyone ever follows like the comics or like the graphic novel things that are created afterwards, McCready was not infected. Like he was in fact the normal one because there's more stuff that kind of happens. Like literally the Thing I think does kind of get out. Well, then a couple of those things gets really weird. Frankly, I was sad they only chose to remaster the Thing game instead of remake it completely. Because I think
I don't know if there is. I think there is, but seems that there isn't. Right, your turn. You got your first one?
I have all three ready to go. Hot off the presses.
Right. Is this character the antagonist?
Yes.
So the bad guy. Are there a physical presence?
Yes.
Is it a slasher?
I would say yes.
When you say you meet what? You would say yes.
I'm only saying it that way because I would say this is probably one of the originals that may have started the genre.
Psycho.
Damn. Yeah, it's Psycho. I said too much there.
Norman
I
Bates.
absolutely said too much. Yeah.
Norman Bates.
I gave way too much away with that statement.
Yes. Oh. Wow, okay.
I sometimes still remember my best friend when we first watched this in high school, making fun of him, where it's like, "You mean a madhouse?" Just it'll repeat in my head.
Your next one. Is this one the antagonist?
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
I
Slasher?
love my antagonist. No.
Creature feature.
Let me. I'm actually gonna see what they actually decide this genre to be. It's not a creature feature.
Psychological
Well,
thriller?
I want to lean more to psychological thriller. Yeah, I'm gonna say psychological thriller.
Um, does this character
Like
you
supernatural.
super? Oh, okay. So does this have a physical presence? Is it like can you see it?
Yes.
Is it like a demon?
No.
Not like a demon.
Not a demon in the sense that you would recognize a demon.
Not a demon in the sense you would recognize a demon. Vampire?
No.
Werewolf?
Calling vampires demons. No.
Um, is this an older movie?
It's an older film, yeah.
Give me a hint.
It's in the 80s, and what's a hint that's not gonna give it away? I would give it away for sure. Oh, wow, anything I think of right now, I think gives it away. What's the best way to do this without? Um, just to just to ask real quick. It's not part of the Scream franchise for obvious reasons. What is the name of he was like the cause of the killings in the first movie. He's the one that like got them on the track. What was his last name?
Roman?
Roman. No. Was there another guy whose last name was Cotton?
Oh yeah, Cotton Weaver.
Yeah.
He was framed for they framed him because he was sleeping with Sydney's mother.
A character in this film. His last name is Cotton. Does that count as a hint?
No, it doesn't. That's hurt my brain.
Yeah. All right. I've confused you. Do you need another hint?
Yeah.
Okay. This character was once a British military officer.
So the villain was in the military.
Correct. At one point in time.
Hellraiser.
Okay. Damn it. See, you understand how little I could think of to give you hints, right? If I say puzzle, laminate configuration. If I say, Clive Barker, that's a dead
Is the thing,
giveaway.
I know Pinhead when he was human, he was in the military.
Yeah, Elliot Spencer.
But then you get the film where it's like he just spends a minute in the part in the film where the original military guy helps fight Pinhead, which is basically himself.
Yeah.
Right,
Damn it.
your last one.
And Julia Cotton was the that person. Yeah, the reason why I asked that because I was like wondering if maybe part of the choice of Cotton's name might have been as an homage to there, but I don't know. That's
All right, go on.
if it's first name. Well, you're the one guessing.
I'm gonna say antagonist again.
Absolutely, you know
I
me.
thought so. Friday the 13th.
Nope.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nope.
Halloween.
Nope.
Chucky, Charles Boy.
Nope.
Okay. Is this character male or female? Or
Male.
femme presenting male? Okay. Are they? Is it a slasher?
No.
Psychological thriller? Psychological.
I want to say psych. No.
Give me a hint.
Supernatural. Damn, this one might actually be pretty difficult hints too. Isolation is a key part in the story.
Isolation. Evil Dead?
No.
Isolation. Cabin in the Woods.
No.
When you mean
It's an horror film.
when you mean isolation, what do you exactly mean?
I mean, this movie takes place in a location, etc. Like they're isolated from outside sources for the most part.
Are they in a desert?
No.
Are they in the woods?
No.
Are they outside the realm of the normal world?
No.
Are they in a deserted town?
No.
They're not in the desert. They're not in the woods. Where else could they be?
What are the geographical features?
Are they out on the open water?
No.
Are they in the Arctic?
No.
What? Hint.
All right, England doesn't really have too many of these.
What?
Mountains.
So this is in the mountains.
It takes place in a mountainous area. Yep.
Is this a group of people?
No, I'm gonna call it a group.
Supernatural.
What?
Is it
Is
supernatural?
there... No. Oh, are you asking if the whole thing? Yes, the movie is a supernatural film. I don't know why my brain thought you were trying to guess like the TV show.
No. Give me a hint, cause this is.
You're gonna berate yourself by not getting this one so soon.
I probably am.
Yes. A cook comes to the aid of the characters.
A cook.
And a sequel was recently made, like a not really a straight sequel, but like a follow up in the same universe was recently made in the last like 5 years.
A cook. Like chef.
Yeah, a chef would probably be the better term for it, yeah.
So a chef comes to the aid of these characters. Why a chef? Is this a well-known movie?
Oh, absolutely. It's quite possibly one of the most well known movies.
Texas.
No.
Takes place in the mountains.
This is a typewriter.
The Shining.
There you go. It's The Shining, but what character?
Is it Jack Nicholson's character? Jack
Repeat that
Torrance.
again. Yes, there you
I hate you.
go.
You didn't say it took place in a fucking hotel.
You were asking geographical things like, like trees and the like.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you.
It
Right,
takes place in the mountains because there's
main
snow down.
topic.
Nicely.
Main topic.
Main topic.
You read out the side content stuff.
Yeah. Before or after you do your paragraph?
I meant the side content. Like director,
Yeah,
now you read that.
Yeah, do you want me to read it first? Because I think we
Yes,
usually
we
read
read that
first.
first.
I think we read it second last week, but I'll read it first.
We read it first.
Because I love you. Okay, so Evil Dead 2 is this week's
Guys,
topic
I hate him.
item.
I
It was
actually hate
directed.
him. He's an asshole.
I'm lovable and cuddly. I'm not an asshole, clearly.
Just fucking read. Jesus.
So Evil Dead 2, it was directed by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert Tappert, Alex De Benedetti, and Irvin Shapiro. Written by Sam Raimi and Scott Spiegel. Cast involves Bruce Campbell, Sarah Berry, Dan Hicks, Cassie Wesley. Music is composed by Joseph DeLuca or Loduca. Wow, that's a name and a half. Loduca. I said, I'm impressed. My brain went DeLuca. Cinematography by Peter Deming. Editing by Kay Davis. Produced by Rosebud Releasing. Distributed by Entertainment Group. Release date was March 13th, 1987, with a runtime of 84 minutes. It was released in the United States. Well, does that just take place in the United States or filming in the United States? One of those, whatever that means there. Language, English. It's
the
budget.
film. I think it means where's it set or something.
Okay. The budget for the film was $3.6 million, and the gross was $5.9 million, so a $2.3 million profit. It was preceded by Evil Dead, followed by The Army of Darkness, 1992.
Right, do you want me to start reading first, or do you want to read?
You read first.
This movie begins with a slightly offbeat recap of the first movie, in which they don't have the three other characters that existed in the first movie. Another thing is that the character Linda changes to another woman in the movie. As part of the recap, they show the romantic sentiments that exist between Ash and Linda by showing off the necklace that he gives her in the first movie. The movie progresses to show Ash finding the tape recorder containing Professor Raymond Noby's findings of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, Naturen Demento, aka the Book of the Dead. Ash plays the tape and quickly realizes that he made a grave error, since the tape plays reading from the book that awaken an evil force in the woods. The sound of glass breaking and Linda's scream from the next room are dead giveaways to Ash's mistake. He arrives to Linda's aid, but finds her missing, distraught. Ash begins to search for Linda by going outside, but getting more than he expected. Linda pops out of the shadows, but she is not herself. She's possessed. Ash, startled by Linda, falls to the ground next to a shovel, which he uses to decapitate Linda as she lunges at him. So just like in the first movie, Ash buries Linda and marks her grave, but the evil forces has plans for Ash. The Force comes after Ash through the cabin, busting through the doors, picking him up, throwing him through the trees, slamming him against a big one and against a big one and dropping him in a puddle. That was weirdly phrased.
Yeah, and definitely it feels like more Ron. They probably should have had a couple extra paragraphs in here. This is where the new material begins, with Ash coming up out of the puddle, possessed by evil and screaming. But soon the evil realizes the sun is coming up and begins to go away. Shortly after possession subsides from Ash, he screams in terror and passes out. Ash awakens and looks around, seeing a pair of eyes overlaying the cabin and a disembodied voice saying, "Join us." Suddenly, Ash decides to get out of there as he rushes to his car and speeds off down the path from the cabin. Ash quickly discovers that he's trapped by finding the destroyed bridge down the road, and he also discovers that he is not alone and has slept most of the day. The sun begins going down, and the evil horse begins to chase after Ash as he runs to his car and speeds back towards the cabin and crashes it. Flies to the windshield and continues to run. The force chases Ash through the cabin until he evades it. Defeated, it leaves the cabin and Ash comes out. After a while of solitude, Ash is startled by boards falling off of a nearby window, and upon investigation, he sees his dead girlfriend Linda's headless body dancing, and after the dance, she attacks Ash through the window. Ash wakes up to discover the attack was just a dream and relaxes. Ash's relaxation is short lived as Linda's head falls into his lap and attacks him by biting his hand. Ash takes the head to the workshed where he gets the head off, but is attacked by Linda's body, wielding a running chainsaw. After defeating Linda again, Ash returns to the cabin where he finds a shotgun or boomstick for the fans. But while loading, he sees a rocking chair next to him moving, and he confronts it to find that there's something invisible in the chair. Ash panics and tries to calm himself in a mirror, but is attacked by his reflection. After the attack, Ash's hand becomes possessed and attacks him in a slapstick way, much like the Three Stooges. Ash's hand knocks him out, and he tries to get a meat cleaver to kill him, but Ash stops it and cuts his hand off with a nearby chainsaw.
And that's where we get the famous chainsaw hand.
Exactly.
This is where Annie, Nobi, and College Ed come into full swing in the picture. They are stopped on their way to the cabin by Jake and wife Bobby, Bobby Joe, who are out marking the destroyed bridge. Jake and Bobby Joe agree to take Ed and Annie to the cabin on foot. Clipping back, Ash undergoes another attack by his hand that leaves him worse for the wear as he fires the shotgun at his hand and missing, but the holes he shot in the wall began to gush in blood, almost like a fire hose, covering him in blood. Then the blood starts to retracting back into the wall.
Yeah.
And Ash is stunned and falls through a chair. Shortly after hitting the ground, the props in the room begin laughing at him, such as a deer head on the wall, the clock, books, cabinets, lamps, and the trash can. Ash, in a short moment of insanity, laughs but soon realizes that he's losing it and screams, but everything goes quiet. When he hears a knock at the door, Ash believes this is another attack and fires the gun at the door. Suddenly, Jake busts in, knocking Ash to the ground, and with Ed's help, knocks Ash out. Annie and Bobby Joe come in to discover the bloody chainsaw and assumes that Ash killed her parents, Raymond and Henrietta Nobi, so they threw Ash into the cellar.
Annie unable to find her parents. Dun dun dun. Annie able to find her parents plays her father Raymond's tape, finding out that her mother Henrietta had become possessed and her father had to kill her, but could not completely destroy her, but rather buried her in the cellar. Shortly after finding this out, voices come from the basement and an attack by Henrietta begins. Ash makes it out of the cellar, but Ed suffers from the attack as he is knocked out. Shortly after, Ash explains what's going on to Ed, Annie, Jake, and Bobby Joe, but he's interrupted by Henrietta trying to get Annie's attention. He tries to get Annie to let her out, but she refuses, and then Ed becomes possessed and then attacks the group.
Why is it randomly just say?
That's because it's a troll edited it probably to get just to throw that in there.
I was about to say that word. Why is it just randomly say that word?
Welcome to wikis where anyone can edit anything.
Ash lays waste to Ed, but time stops and strange noises from the cabin. Annie and Ash begin to investigate to find a ghostly head begin to come through into their world. The head is Professor Nobi, and he warns them and tells them of a way to defeat the evil that swarms the woods outside and fades back into darkness. Then Ash's hand strikes once again by scaring Bobby Joe out of the cabin. Jake, distraught by the action, peers out for her, but she is nowhere in sight. Annie shows the pages to Ash that will defeat the evil, but one catches his eye, an illustration of a hero from the sky, said to have defeated the evil in time of the book. And this hero is uh, garbed strangely like Ash, Jake holding a gun, take charge, throwing the papers into the cellar, and demanding that they all go out in the woods and search for Bobby Joe. Well, out there, they don't find Bobby Joe, but they do find the evil force at work once again. But this time, it's moved trees, so they can't get out.
Oof. Evil Ash turns and attacks Jake first, but Annie gets away, back into the cabin where it is safe for the moment. Evil Ash pops up at the door and says, "Join us," to Annie, which goes to the door as Ash tries to get in. When he can't get in, he screams, "Annie!" Ash heads for the back door of the cabin, realizing this. Annie heads to the back to lock the door. Ash shows that he can't get in and hides while Jake makes his way back to the cabin, but upon getting in the door, he is stabbed by Annie because she thought it was Ash. Annie drags Jake to the front room of the cabin, but unknowingly lays him by the cellar door where Henrietta disposes of him. Annie backs away, only to be attacked by Ash, who lifts her up and throws her against the wall. But his evilness is short lived as he looks down to see Linda's necklace on the floor with a chain laying in the shape of a skull, and he comes out of his possession crying for his lost love. Ash's mourning only lasts a moment because Annie begins to attack Ash for fear that he is still possessed, but he convinces her that he is fine, and so begins the cooperation to rid the world of this evil. But they need the pages out of the cellar to do it. Annie and Ash gather whatever weapons they can find and prepare for the final confrontation.
Ash cuts open the cellar door and kicks it in. He goes down and gets the pages and tosses them up to Annie. Annie begins to read them but gets distracted by an all-out attack by Henrietta. Henrietta makes it up before Ash and attacks Annie, but Ash comes to her rescue and fights with Henrietta, but he doesn't seem to be able to gain an advantage. Annie distracts Henrietta long enough for Ash to gain the advantage and dismember Henrietta. Ash's victory is short-lived, and another attack by the evil force begins, and Ash is forced to fight it off. With Annie, finishes the passage to dispose of the evil. Annie is almost cut short by Ash's possessed hand that stabs her in the back, but she finishes the passage. But before dying, but the plan backfires slightly since Ash is pulled into the vortex that is taking away all the evil and sending it back where it belongs.
Ash is sent back to the time of the Necronomicon. I think this last passage, reading through it, could have been worded way better. Knights surround him when he hits the ground, and they're just about to kill him when a demon comes flying in to attack them. But Ash gets the upper hand and disposes of it with his trusty boomstick. The knights stand in awe as the demon is dead and the warrior still stands. The leader of the knights, played by Sam Raimi, raises his face shield and exclaims, "Hail, he has come from the sky to deliver us from the terrors of the Deadites." Ash realizes his fate as the hero on the page illustration that he saw earlier in the movie and is troubled by it and begins screaming, "No!" as the knights gather around him exclaiming, "Hail!" and the movie comes to an end. Excellent, in my opinion, excellent lead into the Army of Darkness, which
It's a
is
very
my favorite
good.
one.
Amidan's is my favorite as well. I love Amidan's. But yeah, what would
Perfect.
you rate the film?
I would rate this film, I would say like a 7, give or take. I think that it did a good job of both addressing what they wanted to change about the first movie and kind of set it up for future, future installments and everything. Very well that the first movie didn't quite have. Hence why they kind of remade parts of it. There was also obviously in the first movie there's a bit of a troublesome scene with trees that I do think one reason why it was omitted in the things that were changed up is because they recognize like probably not the best thing to have in a movie.
Mm.
So I think Evil Dead 2 definitely built off of it. This is also the movie where it actually leaned more into its um Bruce Campbell's what was signature kind of thing, which is his kind of humor, like his comedy, his slapstick.
Yeah, he's very physical comedy.
Yeah, and I think that's where this really kicked off,
Yeah, that's why
culminating in Army of Darkness.
I think that's why these films do so well, is because they lean more into Bruce Campbell's physical comedy prowess. But then obviously you've got the the most recent films, which went more serious routes. But yeah, what would you rate the film?
I'd say like a 7.
I'm gonna give it a 7.10.
7.10, okay.
Just to be different.
Now, I will argue though, isn't 7.10 really just an 8?
No, shut up. Right. 7.10 is a 7.10, boy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's it.
You have any other notes or anything for it?
No, not really.
Okay, then with that, we want to thank you for watching the Slashercast podcast. We talk horror, nothing but horror. Again, brought to you by the Slashercast podcast network and our YouTube channel, Slasher Media. I have been one of your hosts, Maury.
I've been your little Slasher.
Thank you for watching, and remember to keep on slashing, keep watching horror, and
whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Have you checked the children?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boogeyman is real, and you found him.
Don't you blame the movies? Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.